Okay. All right. So our login is completed and it is coming to the home page. Now in the home page from here, we will try to create books. We'll try to create books. But before that, once the Flask login is, Flask puts the login, right? It also creates a temporary variable for the current user. It means current user meaning who is the logged in user? Who is the logged in user? Let me just say so current user Flask login, right? Flask login will also give and something called current user. So this basically gives who is the current logged in user, who is the current logged in user as per this request. Now let's go back here. Let me reload and go here. So it is giving that user model, right? And what we are saying here, current user dot name. So we do have current user. Is it correct? Dot name. So we do have name in our model, right? Let me just check. Do we have name in the model? Yeah. So we have name, email, and everything. All right. So what we are saying, so this should get redirected and replaced with this value. Mhm. Okay. So this is a single, right? So it is a normal replacement, not a Jinja, right? So this is my, why is the name giving email? Hmm. So name, and while creating an object, first is the email, then let me just set this values as expected. Right. So this is my name. This is the current logged in user. For example, let me add the logout button here in the home page. In the home page, let me add a logout button. First, before that, let me create one HTML for the home page. Okay. Home page. Right now, this is going to add one div here. Uh, Logout slash logout. I'm just adding a logout link here. Okay, so I have to call this login.html return render template home.html, right? So I'm going to pass the current user as a parameter here, right? So I'm going to send that as a parameter, and in the home, I don't know why is this. Let me refactor the name, right? So in the home and one current user dot name. Right, so we have the logout button, logout link also. And why didn't it take the style float? Right, I think it is. Yeah, so it is here. And let me add certain styles. Change it to a button. Logout. On click. what should I do on click? So I'm going to call a certain function. Trigger logout, right? So here, if that is what is the case, script, right? Function logout. So what is the function name that we gave here? Trigger logout, right? So let me have the same function name here. Trigger logout. So what I do here, it's window.location. All right. So let me just check if this is working. Okay, logout is still not found. We'll implement it. Okay, otherwise we have the home data. Okay, so things are working as expected, and this will be always on top, right? Right, so if I click here, it should log out. Let's log out thing, route for logout. Slash logout, def logout, and so what do we do for logout user? What is the function name? What is the function name?
Def logout only, sir.
So before that, I have to use import that logout user function. Done. So I have imported the logout user, and I'm saying if somebody hits the logout URL, okay, I'm going to log out that user. Right. So we are good. Right. If I click on it, let us look at this application now. So there is a cookie. So the moment I click on logout user, right. So this also I'll try to. So this was I think created some time back. Delete this. So right now there is no cookie as such. So I click on submit. This creates one cookie, and I click on logout. This clears a cookie. So this is something different. I don't know where this is coming from, but this is a different session cookie. But anyways, it doesn't impact. Okay, so login logout is working. Yeah. So now what we will try is to create student records. Create student record. Or rather, like, before students, let me create a book inventory. Book inventory. So how does our book inventory look like? What is our schema? Let me create my login registration. Okay, one more thing for registration and the login. So we have created a static and we have created certain CSS file, right? So let us try to use that CSS file here. So adding a CSS, the tag is link, and we have to say what is the thing which we have to say it is a style sheet. And where is my style sheet? I need that href location. So here, what we are going to say is URL. So this Python will Flask will take care of replacing URL for. So what folder name? URL for static. URL for static, and within that there is the path. So in the static folder, where is it? In the static folder, there is a folder called CSS, and within that there is a So I'm already using double quote outside. So within that, there is something called CSS, and within that, registration underscore session underscore CSS sign in dot CSS. So I'm just giving that, right? So let me just log out, and here let me do add one button in the login product to the registration. Register. Click here. Okay. So go to registration. So for that, I'm going to add one more function. The simple redirection functions. That's it. So employee registration, employees or employee, what is the route name for the registration? Employee register, not registration, it is register. So in the login employee register, let me go back here and then reload it. Click here. Okay. Employee register unexpected expected Jinja is throwing certain error, right? So this is the problem for the URL static URL for. So if I'm using a double parenthesis, what is the error here? Where is my registration.html? So think percentage percentage. Okay, URL for is not unknown tag. Okay, it is not an unknown tag. One moment. This is a Python code that needs to be executed. Okay, not a condition. Yeah, this is correct. URL for static. One moment. One moment. So it should be URL for and then static and then file name, right? So it is as simple as that. So this is what we have done. Static comma file name. We have given that CSS. So that is correct. URL for. Hmm, exactly what we have given. URL for static file name is equal to this. Did I call? Okay. Did I? Okay. Okay. Well, I did not close the function call. I've done here. I did not close the function call. That is the problem. Okay, let me use that. Okay. URL for text 2 question, but 3 were given. Where did we give 3? URL for this is 1. Only 2 parameters, right? So is there in third parameter? There is only one comma. Oh, it says 3 parameters. Takes positional arguments. Okay, so anything that you can find here? Anything. So we have seen already URL for and all. So which we have added a static in our earlier classes. Can you find anything? So we have to just say what is the file name. We have to just say this is a file name. We have seen in the earlier class, right? think that should solve it. I think that is where this guy is getting confused. Yeah, right. Okay, so this is the registration page, right? So from here we'll add one link to the login page also. Just removing that. Hey guys, do you hear any disturbance from my side?
No, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, right. The registration.html, I'll add one more link to the login. Add a tag here. Sign in. Okay, right. I think we are good. So already registered. Click here to sign in. So from here we go here, not registered. Click here. It will come back here. Okay, so let us do the same. Let's apply the same styles for the login also. So let me add that URL for. So this URL for, right? So just like how render template, if you just give some template name, it by default goes to the template folder. Here also, it by default goes to static folder. Link rel, it is a style sheet. And then where should I look for? Where is my data? href URL for this is the function call which takes two parameters. First, where is my data? It is in the where is my CSS? It is in my static folder, and the file name is CSS in the folder CSS registration underscore sign in dot CSS. We are good. Okay, so from here, if I click, it will go to this. And from here, if I click, it will come back here. In both the places, like, so there's this title, so which is basically coming here. So we'll try to remove that. And why? Okay. All right. So this is done. Okay. So I think we are good. We are logged in. Let me just go back to login and submit. Right. So I'm able to log in. From here, we want to create a button which basically says add book, and clicking on that should show a particular um, add book, show a form where you can write the author name, all the details. You have to bring up a form where we want to write all the details. So where is our DB schema? So books, what all we have? What is the title? What is the author? What are the total copies? Available copies not required at the time of creation, or how many copies did we buy? That's it. These are the three information that you need. And this total copies can be optional. We can edit that later. But now title, author is something that is mandatory, and also total copy, which is a optional value. Okay. All right. So Let us go and add a button to add the HTML, or let us create one separate API itself. Why not whom we have HTML and add book.html. I'm going to take a form. Form will take action. Where should I put this to? Add slash book. That is my post address. And what is the method in which I should post this data? I want to post this data in the post method, right? And this is going to have certain input values. Type is text for author, book name, book title, right? So this will just place this content into that text box. This is a required parameter, and I'm going to give ID as title and name also as title. Okay, and it is required. Okay, so let me title, author, author, enter author name required, right? So the other one is copies, copies, and this type is number, and there won't be any placeholder for it. And since this is optional, I'm removing the required thing here. And the last, I need to have a, where is my, right? I need to have a submit button. Button type is equal to submit. Right. So here I'll create add book button, which basically redirects to book page. In the home, let's add a button, small button. Okay, so there is a add book button. If I click on it, it should go to the create book page, right? So before that, let us go create the create book HTML. The API, we have created the HTML. Let's create the API. App dot route add slash book at the rate. In order to create a book, you should be logged in. You should be logged in. Def add book. Right. So if request dot method equals to get. So this add book method will support two methods, get and post. Post. If it is a get method, what should we do? If it is a post method, what should we do? Right? If it is a get method, we want to just render the HTML. Return render template. Right? What is the template name? Add book dot HTML. We'll just try to render else, right? That for now, I am not responding with anything, so my server just stopped. Add book must starts with the slash. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, so done. Okay, so my API is ready, but for that API, on click of this, I have to redirect to that API. So let's go to that add book HTML. So here, let me write a small script. Let me try this. Within this, can I have another tag? I don't know. I never tried this. Just trying to have a submit. Okay, this has a problem. Not required. The submit should take care of it, but let me just check that it works. Okay, seems like it works. Okay, cool. Uh, Actually not required. Okay, so anyways, coming back to home button where we have this, right? So from here, I'll try href is equal to slash and slash book, right? Let me see if that a tag in the button works. Not here, it is in the home. Okay, from here, we are able to come to this location, right? So what we have to do here, we are going to enter the book title, the name, and obviously how many copies that we bought. And the moment I click on submit, this has to submit the data to the backend. This has to submit the data to the backend. Now, assignment for you guys is, right? Now, we have implemented this partially just to get. Now, assignment for you is to create these records. I want a separate model to be created for books, just like we have done like user model. If that model should contain, right? For example, I'll create that model for you. This model should contain a class called book model, maybe, right? And this should contain all the details. This should basically reflect the table for the book. And this method, this class should contain all the methods required by the book thing. So which is get books should come into this model, create book, edit book, all of this should come into the same model, should come into the same model. The assignment for you guys is you have to create a book record. You know how to, you can refer the user model, which we have already done, right? Get the connection, get the query, right? And create that user model. Okay, is that fine? Now you have to do the similar thing to create a book record and show the list of books in the user. Write one API, write one API to list the books, create the book, and the same book should be listed in the UI in the home page. Okay,
Okay, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Create one create methods in book model to create a book. First thing, right? You take all the user data from here and call the book function that is you defined in the book model to insert that record into the DB. Validate that data is being inserted into the DB. Step 1 completed. Step 2, create a new API. Create a new API to get the list of books. To get the list of books, and you get that response. You have to create one HTML to list the books, or probably in the home HTML, right? That should you where you should pass the list of books, and the book name, author name, and number of copies should be printed there. Right? You have to show that in the UI. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Right? And if you see here in the book table, I use this so bad. Something is bad here. I don't know what that's done. Okay, so I'll try to fix it. I don't know why. What was the other column name here? Available
Total
copies.
copies.
Right. That is correct. Okay, right. So in the UI, you just get this data and title, author, total copies should be listed. Okay.